Europe could end its dependence on lithium-ion batteries from China by the year 2027. That is according to a study by the industry group Transport and Environment. It says that previous investment in battery plants could set the continent up to produce all the components needed for its future vehicle production. The biggest risk to this outlook, the US Inflation Reduction Act launched last year, which gives companies major incentives and subsidies to up production within the United States, possibly making some companies re-prioritize their investments. All right, for more, let's bring in one of the authors of the study, Julia Poliskanova, Senior Director for Clean Vehicles and E-Mobility at Transport and Environment. Welcome to the program, Julia. So Europe self-reliant on batteries. How did that happen?
Well, actually, this is the result of the success of our green policy agenda. Clean car rules, for example, promoting the electric vehicle market, have created the investment certainty in Europe so that today almost 50 battery gigafactories, so those big factories producing at scale, are announced or committed to by 2030, meaning that even already last year, we produced half of all the batteries that we needed in Europe. So that's a real success.
Okay, Julia, how likely is it that these companies, or these factories rather, will actually be built? Until now, those are just plans, aren't they?
Absolutely. So some of these factories are more advanced than others, but many haven't secured full funding, haven't secured offtake, or they don't even know what technology exactly they will be producing yet. So this all shows the potential, right? And now we need smart industrial policy agenda in Europe to make this potential happen. And that's where US IRA today is a real risk to these announcements.
Tell us more. How substantial is this U.S. Inflation Reduction Act to Europe's green energy ambitions?
Well, we already know that there's a few companies that already actually said, well, you know what? We'll first build a factory in the US because it's more attractive there. The subsidy the US is doing on average can cover up to 1/3 of your entire costs to actually build a battery factory generally in the US. That's huge, right? And that's what we need to do in Europe as well. I want to stress that it's not just about money. There's at least three pieces of this agenda. First, let's continue locking in ambitious green policies. They drive investment case. We have it for cars, we now need to do it for trucks. Secondly, we need to get things done faster in Europe. So we need to have some kind of green simplification agenda. So it's faster to build a battery factory than a coal factory in Europe. And finally, money.
Julia,
so on money, just to make it...
Julia, just to interject here, when it comes to supplying subsidies and to make things easier, you might have Berlin lobbying against that because the German government is warning against protectionism.
So ideally, of course, we all want to rely on open markets, efficient trade, etc. But the US IRA, first China, now US IRA, have really just changed the rules of the game. So if we want to have this industry, we need to beef up the financial support we give to these companies. But it needs to be smart. It needs to really target the sectors that are at risk. For example, green battery value chain. It needs to also not just do research and pilots, but really focus on OPEX or supporting production scale in Europe with the necessary environmental safeguards in place. So do things simpler and better than in the past if we want to still be in the game.
Julia Poliskanova, Senior Director for Clean Vehicles and E-Mobility at Transport and Environment. Julia, thank you for your thoughts.
Thank you.